Welcome back. In this video, we will continue by looking at unsupervised machine learning techniques. Let's begin with a refresher about what unsupervised techniques are. Essentially, they are machine learning techniques where the data that is being used to train the model does not have specified outcomes. Specified outcomes such as, for example, the price of a HDB flat or whether a credit card transaction is fraudulent or not. In the case of unsupervised learning techniques like clustering, we are simply trying to group certain items together. In this lesson, we will only go through the most basic of unsupervised learning techniques, which are clustering techniques. A prime example in the use of clustering is when service providers such as Netflix try to segment customers so that they can engage them more personally. For example, if I am Netflix and I know that I have a group of customers between the ages of 15 to 20, what do you think are the kinds of shows that they would watch? Perhaps even like anime such as Naruto. However, if I have a group of customers between the ages of 30 to 40, the kind of shows or the genres of shows that they watch may be very different. They might be more interested in documentaries or drama series such as Suits or Grey's Anatomy. Age is just one example of how customers could be clustered. They could also be clustered based on the number of kids they have. So, for example, a individual or a couple that is between the age of 25 to 35 with kids might be more interested in baby or infant programs as opposed to a married couple who may not have kids. The married couple may be interested in watching a very different kinds of shows, such as, like, for example, the drama series that we mentioned earlier. Let's take a look at how clustering or visual representation of clustering. If you look at this slide, we see that we are actually basically trying to group customers that are similar together. So in this case, the yellow ones, which are close in proximity to each other, they are grouped together. The red ones are grouped together, and the blue ones are grouped together. At the end of the day, the aim of segmentation or rather clustering is to group things that are similar together so there is a common treatment method. So in the case of segmentation, we are grouping customers that are similar together so that we can engage them in a similar way. Let's take a look at a visual or demo of how clustering takes place. Let's take a look at how clustering could take place. So these four points that are circled in a green circle, they are being chosen as what we call a centroid. And this, we are linking the rest of the black points to the nearest green point possible. Once that is done, we will actually be moving the green points such that the green points will always be at the center of all the points that sort of belong to it. And it keeps updating itself such that eventually, each of the black points will have one green point in the center. Like you see on the left hand side, for this cluster, all of these black points have this green point as its center. All of these black points have this green point in its center. All of these black points have these green points in its center. And similarly for the top one. You can also imagine that as more data points are added, so each of these black points is a data point, as more black points are added, the position of these green points might change. And that is where what we call machine learning takes place. With more data, the points are updated and the predictions, or rather the outcome or patterns that are identified, become stronger and stronger. So that brings us to the end of what we call unsupervised learning. Aside from clustering, there are also other unsupervised learning techniques, but across the board, all of these unsupervised machine learning techniques are only trying to find patterns. They are not trying to predict a specific outcome. That would be the key difference between supervised and unsupervised learning. Hope this clarifies. Thank you very much.